I don't know how we should start. I think we should just start, Sha.
I mean, let's do it.
That's how they started it. We should start it like that too.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like, I just so y'all know, troops and correspondents, I appreciate y'all as always for sending in articles. I have a whole list of articles. I don't know if I'm gonna get to a single article. Yeah, like I wrote them all out, like the normal like list of 5 to 6 articles, and then above all the articles, I just have the only real topic of today's episode. But yeah, just like for perspective, Wayne Brady came out as pansexual.
Okay.
And this is how nice of a person he is, right? His wife is divorced from him, remarried, is having a baby with the new guy, and they are still calling Wayne Brady co-parent of that baby. Okay?
Huh.
That's wild. Right? That's happening this week.
Right.
Body positivity woman. Incredible singer. Great performer. Admittedly, her name escapes me right this second.
Body positivity woman is not her stage name?
Yeah, real talk, it might be. But that's her brand. Got accused and is being sued by a ton of her dancers for doing a ton of craziness on the road.
You forgot the name Lizzo.
There you go. Boom. Lizzo. Famous lady, not in my rotation, admittedly.
Okay.
You know? You gotta give me that. Fun fact, every time I've heard a Lizzo song, it is playing during the closing credits of some old white lady's documentary.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it's when you're like in a food court or you're every time you hear it, you're holding your wife's purse or something like that.
Nah, like if I watch like a documentary about like a 70-year-old lady who like knitted her way to freedom, like Lizzo plays at the end of that over and over again. I don't know why. And I've seen like 4 documentaries like this. Yes, I'm into these comeback stories. But
okay, all right. Yeah, that's for another episode. We are definitely gonna have to tackle that.
But both of those things happened this week. And we still cannot talk about that.
Yeah, that's all you're gonna get.
That's all you're gonna get. Because we had a brawl in Alabama that everybody knows about.
Let me stop you there.
Please.
Not everybody knows about it.
Really?
Yes. I would say a lot of white people don't know about it. I feel I can speak freely on this. On Monday, I went into my office and there are 2 Black women who work there, and I'm counting myself as one. The other one was not in that day, and I was the only one in the office that knew anything about it at all.
Wow.
And I was just like, nobody here, like I can't even begin to discuss it because we've been through anti-racial training, and since then I don't trust any of them. So, okay. Yeah, I just got to sit on this all day. So I'm just reading jokes all day. The following day, Tuesday, the other Black woman came back into the office. And I said something in passing, and then we just exploded about just talking about it. And then was like, what are you talking about? And we explained it to that one person. They were like, I knew nothing of this. It's not the best sample size, but I'm here to tell you, if you are a white person who isn't necessarily clued in on Twitter in any way, which is to say most white people, you had no idea. But if you're a Black person and you aren't even that clued in on Twitter, somebody told you pulled it up on their phone. We introduced a lot of grandmas and aunties to Twitter this weekend based on it. So we may have to like do a rundown. I mean, the
Okay,
whole thing needs to be examined like the Zapruder film, like the
listen.
JFK shooting Zapruder film. It needs to be. It needs that kind of examination.
I thought the news traveled a lot because of uh the first conversation I had in person about it was with my dad,
Hmm.
which blows my mind. My dad is not on social media at all.
Right.
And he came over here specifically to talk to me about it.
Okay.
He said,
Yes.
"Hey, and this is what really messed my head up. He's like, "Hey, your cousins back home in DR sent me a video of a fight that happened here." And they
See,
want
that's what I mean. We introduced a lot of our elders
yo,
because they need to know.
straight up. They was like, yo, they want to know if we're getting ready to fight too. And I'm like this is so many states away, pops. But yes, I keep chairs on me. Like you can tell them we're fine though. But yeah,
Yeah.
I had to download the fight for him on WhatsApp, and me and him just watch highlights of the beatdown on my computer screen. It was great.
Okay.
Just to catch everybody up, at 7 p.m. on Saturday in Montgomery, Alabama, there was a Harrier II riverboat carrying 227 passengers returning to a waterfront. The spot that was reserved for it was being taken by a smaller private boat. The Harriet riverboat with the passengers and the rights to that spot got on a PA system, attempted to call the owners of the private boat over by PA to move it. They did not. After 45 minutes of them not moving it, cursing towards the 227 passenger boat, they finally voted for the co-captain, a gentleman named Pickett, to be escorted onto the dock from another smaller boat so that he can talk civilly with these people to say, hey, I know you guys are having a good time, but you need to move the boat. It's our spot, and we have a ton of people waiting to get off. They then decided to escalate the situation and started swinging on homie.
Now,
He,
wait, let me stop you.
yeah,
Let me make sure I'm painting the full picture of
yeah,
what's going on. The riverboat, this is Montgomery, Alabama, aka the Gump, for those
yep,
in the
yep.
know. And luckily I fucked someone from the Gump, so I guess I'm in the know.
Nice.
Um yeah, great. What a take home trophy. Better than a baby, I guess. But so the the boat, it's just a nice little riverboat, goes out on the river, blah blah blah. The boat that was the small private boat that was in its spot is a pontoon, which is kind of like a futon on like floaters. It looked like to me. I don't know. I don't know from boats. Not that big. Now, all of the people on the pontoon were
Mm-hmm.
white people,
Yep.
middle-aged white people. They were being told by the co-captain of the riverboat, who's black, that they needed to move their boat. I got the sense, judging by what I could see of the people on the boat getting off the boat and the people waiting to get on the next ride of the boat, that the majority of the people on the riverboat and whatnot, they were black. Um, so that you got to know that because that plays a major part into what we're describing. So basically, the black co-captain of a riverboat came down to tell these white people they needed to move their smaller boat because the space was reserved, and the white people argued back, ignored him, all of that, and then proceeded to beat the guy.
Yeah.
This is on a dock in full view of the riverboat and other people on the pier waiting to get on the next boat, everyone around. So
One
now,
thing took place before the beatdown, by the way, that it is, in my opinion, and this is why I am hatless today. It is a sign of like, oh, it's about to go down. The black co-captain threw his hat in the air, signaling it's about to go down. You know,
the way he threw his hat in the air wasn't just like one guy, one of the pontoon people came for him, and that's what I'm calling them, pontoon people. They came for him and kind of gave him a knee in his midsection.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one squared up. And so our co-captain, Pickett, then said, basically, the movement was, oh, we doing this?
Yeah.
And he took his hat off of his head and he threw it in the air with a flourish, like, we can do this. And it was unnecessary to throw the hat.
Really?
But it definitely was a sign.
Yeah,
like,
I gotta say.
I've been waiting for this all my life. In that hat toss was, oh, you just gave me permission.
Yo, it was artful. Like, it. When I think of like Dominican baseball, Japanese baseball with the bat flips, that's what it reminded me of, yo. Like,
okay,
straight up, it was an announcement, you know?
Yes.
It was also transformative. You went from like co-captain Phillips to, yo, this is P. All right? It was a different dude. Like, he left. You know, it's like, what's his name? Clark Kent going in the phone booth. Okay. Another dude came out, you know? When the hat dropped, it was another man there now, okay?
That's true. That's true. There was another man.
There was another man there. So this is a moment, you know? So he throws that up. Everybody knows, oh, this is different. And for people unaware, just like for perspective, a fitted baseball cap is like $45 nowadays. I don't know how much cap their hats go for. I just know you don't fling them, okay? They're not
also,
just flung.
This was a larger man.
Yeah.
He appeared to be pretty tall. He was taller than a lot of the pontoon people, which means his head was certainly bigger than the average head.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from dating a dude who had a large head who liked fitted caps.
Straight up.
Them things add up.
Yo, so, they hold on.
Yeah.
I've been to Boise State University 4 times on work trips. They've been trying to find me a size 8 fitted Boise cap for 2 years. Okay? So size 8 fitted captain's sailboat hats, I know that's not easy, okay?
Right.
That was not a flimsical decision to chuck that in the air. But it was an important announcement to let them know I'm about this life, you know? And he stood valiantly. Admittedly, was losing. It was like 4-1. I get it. But he was doing his best. But then something beautiful happened, you know?
A couple of beautiful things happened.
Yeah, community sprung into action, got involved in so many ways. First, documentation. For the listeners here, troops and correspondents, these are the moments that we talk about. You know, this is what we love about y'all. Troops and corresponding in the moment.
Like, everybody's phone was fully charged.
Yo.
We got from so many angles. We'll get into that later. But phones were out from the time that the man landed over there on that pier to talk to the pontoon people.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, okay, they're not listening to us. We need to get this down. We decide on who we're going to send over. Great. Start taping as soon as his foot hits that pier. I mean, boom. As soon as that, because in the initial footage, that's not included, but as all of the footage came out, there's a full 4-minute clip of him talking to various ones, and each one like, I ain't gonna listen to you, and he's like, whatever. And he's trying to move the boat himself because he has jurisdiction to do that, all of that. So, and all of that's on tape because we knew, start taping as soon as we said we send him over, don't worry, we tape you.
Straight up. Then we see all the heroes. There's no other word for it, just heroes.
There are 2 guys that ran down the pier.
Yup. We got the swim team captain.
Look, I want to go into depth about that dude. I will a little later, but just for the sake of telling the whole story, we had 2 younger guys running down the pier, and then we had a young man jump off of the riverboat that's sitting there idling and swim his way over to the pier to help.
And if you've seen someone swim, like, and it's not an Olympic thing, when you watch someone swim, it's one of the few activities where, like, watching it, you see how hard that shit is.
Right.
You know, he got across, sprung right into action, got up. And when he got up, I want to acknowledge it was still not in their favor. You know, when he got on that dock, it was still
I
like,
put it at like 3 people against, at this point, 5. I believe the female pontoon people were starting to get off of the boat as well.
Yup. You know, and at this point, they said, "Now we're gonna come together. We are gonna broker peace with each of our knuckles."
Now the swimmer, he climbed out of the water, hoisted himself onto the water, kicked off one shoe, because I'm assuming he lost the other one while swimming.
It happens.
And then tussled with a dude and then body slammed him. The other dudes who came down, people were on the ground fighting. This is a big fight. Whole thing on tape, right? That somehow breaks up a little bit. And the pontoon is moved, and then the riverboat manages to get into its designated spot.
Right.
Giving pontoon people a chance to go to their boat and I guess try to act like nothing happened. I don't know, because they were beating on this guy, but then some reinforcements came and it became closer to a fair fight.
Yeah.
Like
and it should have ended there.
They took some licks.
It should have ended there. But Pontoon Spirit, I got to give him this. It is ignorant of the math. And this is probably why Pontoon Spirit gets them further than it should sometimes. You know, they're oblivious.
Spirit, that's what we're calling it now,
yeah,
Pontoon Spirit.
The Pontoon Spirit is powerful, and it got them to places where they shouldn't have been, you know, and they rethought the ass whooping that they were receiving and said, no, we want more. They went back out there, and at this point had miscalculated the amount of people that were on this riverboat.
Here's what happened. Again, they miscalculated because as soon as the boat docked, all of the fucking crew of that boat ran off. Look, they all had on blue polos.
Yup.
And like khaki bottoms.
Straight up.
Easy. I was like, what? Why is all the people from Best Buy here? But then I realized they worked on the boat. They all came off because they watched the co-captain of their boat get attacked.
Get rocked, yeah.
Yeah.
They were about that life.
They came out, and when I tell you they were hopping mad,
listen,
they were so mad. And also dudes who were just on the boat in general. So there were a whole bunch of people in blue polos, but in front of them were 3 dudes in swim shorts that didn't fully cover their asses, just skipping their way over to that pontoon.
Listen, and
ready to slap box. And that's when the real fight begins.
Listen, that's when it gets magical. You start seeing like elements that people haven't seen unless you've been in a really good fight. You know, you see the unison skipping, you know?
Right.
When you see 2 or 3 dudes skipping, yo, it's not your time, baby. Okay? Because you gotta understand that, like, I've been in a lot of fights in my life. I've been witness to the skipping. I've been part of the skipping.
Right.
Something I did not realize until that moment, until watching that fight.
Right.
All the times I've skipped in unison, I've never practiced skipping. It just happened. You understand? Like, it's just an innate thing that takes over. Your body tells you are going to win this fight. We are all going to win together. There's a song playing in our hearts that's powering us. And on God, like, I don't remember. Like, I thought about that. Like, yo, I've been in a ton of fights where we was skipping, and then we bodied these kids. And like, yo, now one time do I remember going home like, yo, we got to practice that skipping shit. Like, never. Not one time in my life have I been in the living room in East New York skipping 1-2 with my homies. Like, yo, you ready? You know what I mean? We got to make sure this is on point. It's scary. Yo, not once have I practiced skipping. But as soon as you see it, you know, oh, this is a problem. Yo,
those dudes skipped all the way down that pier. I was
Straight
like,
up.
oh no.
Like, yo, this is incredible, yo. I love that that's a thing. That's like, it's in our heart. Like, yo, listen, I'm gonna kick your ass rhythmically, you know, to the music in my soul from my people.
Oh my God.
You can't take that out. That's in you, you know? I think that's beautiful, like, for real, man. Like, can we commend the leadership of this co-captain? You know, if ever there were proof of a positive working environment.
I mean,
Yo,
I've worked for a lot of people, and it's a very short list of someone I'm gonna go skipping down a pier to kick someone's ass for.
Especially after I had 45 minutes to think about it.
Right.
Like, yo, in the moment, you might catch me. You know, I might get inspired. I might think something wrong. But after 45 minutes, I'll be like, yo, that dude wrote me up.
You know? Absolutely.
Yo, they had 45 minutes to watch that dude get chewed out, getting rocked. And they was like, nah, we still about this.
Yeah.
And they got off as a team, beat them dudes up off the clock.
You literally could hear the trumpet fanfare when they hit that dock.
Yo.
Like, I mean, honestly, it was what, like 7, 8 people, not counting the skippers. The skippers were the passengers on the boat who were there for a good time and ended up having a fight. I'm just talking about the crew members, the crew. There's like 7 or 8 of them.
Listen,
like ready, male, female, and that is key.
Yeah,
that is key. A couple of ladies were ready to throw.
Fully about it. Yo, a couple ladies threw body slams.
I mean, off the dock.
Yo.
But so now they approach the pontoon. They're like, all right, so what's up? What's good? What's really good? And the pontoon people, you know, are, I guess, with this pontoon spirit that Gastor referred to, are just like, whatever, we're not scared of you, basically. Little bit of slapping, they get off of the boat again. Now it's not just, they thought they had it before, but they got onto the dock and there was something waiting for them. A crew of a boat was waiting for them. Like, okay, let's go. So now it's a huge fight. Now the pontoon has been moved away from where the boat was docked now.
Right.
So it's a little bit further down the dock. Meanwhile, so they're fighting. Meanwhile, over in front of the boat, where the riverboat is, there's other fighting. So there are 2 locations. And it's a beautiful shot of just seeing the one in the foreground and then one in the back.
The choreography in this fight.
Where do you look?
Oh,
and
man.
we've switched vantage points at this point. This is from a young woman who's waiting on the pier for the next ride. So she's got it from kind of overhead. You see that one. At some point, the 2 pontoon people are like, fuck it. These 2 dudes are like, we got this. And they kind of start to charge. And then they kind of stop and look around. There are like 8 motherfuckers. Like, what? What? You said what now? And they were like, huh, okay. Well, why don't we just turn around and walk away? Maybe they didn't see us. Nah, bruh. They saw you. They rushed you. They kicked the shit out of one. The other one got a little bit of a beating and then ran and jumped in the water to get away. On the back end of that, a couple other people were getting beat. And the pontoon, the female pontoon person, a couple of them, came off of their boat. And they rushed in under what I'm thinking was the guys to help their men. Like it looked like they were going to try to pull people off or try to separate. But I mean, it's a huge fight. They go in and what they actually are doing are hitting people in blue shirts, right? So 2 men are fighting. These women come in and they start to beat up on the guy who's fighting their pontoon person.
Right.
A female blue shirt comes in, yanks one by the ponytail, pulls her off. Like, no, you gotta, we're doing this gender agenda. We are matching the genders right now. So you gotta fight with me. And another one pulls the other white woman off of her. So now they are fighting. Um, the second one's scrapping so much with that pontoon person, and that woman falls into the water in a very graceful manner, kinda,
Listen,
but just fell back, just
now,
fell comically, like it was Hollywood.
now, Sha, can I ask you?
Yes.
As have you been a partner or in a relationship where you've witnessed your partner in a fight?
Nah, I like wussy dudes. I don't think
Like, I'm trying to
I
think of what's the rule there. Like, if your man is getting his ass kicked
mm, mm.
and the ass kicking is unavoidable, like it's 10-on-1, what's the expectation of the female partner? I feel like I
Here's
appreciated the pontoon women wanting
I
to end the fight.
yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Adrenaline rushing. I don't begrudge them that,
Right.
but they then they then had to figure with whatever. They should have once they started getting hit um by the crew, they kind
Yeah.
of turned in on oh no, a little bit, kind of turned in on themselves. Um but I feel like I knowing me, I never want to go into a fight, but that's because I always want to go into a fight. I don't know how to fight,
Right.
but am always on the I'm always on the verge of punching someone at any given time. There's always a part of me that says like hit him all the time. Those are my intrusive thoughts. Fucking hit him all the time. So I can't say that if I was with someone and it looks like a brawl is happening, that I'm not going to feel a little froggy.
Right.
I
Okay.
probably will feel a little froggy. Now, will I get rocked? Oh, absolutely. But will I also fight back? I think people would be surprised
Listen.
because it will be unleashed in a way like, oh shit, where is that coming from? That one was meant for her parents or whatever, you know? So
Hell yeah.
yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
But I also kind of feel like maybe stay away. Like, look at the odds.
Yeah.
Look at the situation. Is it him and one other person? Or is it him and the crew of a ship?
That's what I'm
Like, what are
saying.
we
Yo,
doing? Who
like,
are clearly upset after I've just seen my man with others gang up on one person?
yeah. I told
Like,
Gabby, like, listen, if this ever happened, I'm trying my hardest to not fight again. But if I'm
right.
ever in a fight where I'm getting my ass kicked by more than 4-1,
Mm-hmm.
I fully expect you to leave. Like,
yeah, don't be
listen,
there.
don't you like? There's no sense in both of us getting our ass kicked. Like, one of us
Right.
got to somebody got to make sure the kids are good. You know, I still got mortgage payments to make. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, someone got to
Someone's gotta
collect
be
the
good.
insurance. Yeah, like, stay safe. Go call the cops. Call somebody. Call my people. You know
Right.
what I mean? But like you're 115 pounds. You ain't helping. Okay,
Yes. Yeah,
I'm
I would
300.
be
If
more
I'm getting rocked, like I'm getting rocked. It just is what it is.
yeah, I would be more, harm than help, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but I also know that there is a part of me that will certainly wanna get into it. Honestly, what probably will happen, knowing the kinda guys that I've dated before, is that there's gonna be a switch flipped on me, and they're gonna have to, like, literally pull me away from somebody.
Yeah, I'm like, now I gotta say, I'm not saving me. How am I saving
Yeah.
you? Like, I can't. You
Yes.
understand? I'm losing already.
Yeah.
Like, go home. You know what I mean?
But, I mean,
Make a few
if
calls.
you were on that boat and you saw upwards of 12 people running to you after knowing what just happened, bitch, go in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah, go in
Don't
the water.
go
Straight up
away.
in the
Go
water.
away. Don't get caught. If at the very least, cops are gonna come.
Yo,
If you're just looking at that looking down the barrel of that gun, cops are coming. I don't wanna be anywhere near it.
listen.
I'm grabbing my phone and my purse, and I'm gonna make my way to the car.
Yo, throw it fully on me. Like, straight up.
Yeah,
I told
Imma
Shorty.
take off whatever distinguishable items I have on me, like green dress, cover up that was covering up a bathing suit. Ditch that cover up. We all know you were in the green cover up, bitch. Just come out,
I
like
don't know
switch
them.
something, do
Real
something
talk.
else. But
Announce it,
yeah,
like straight up. Like if Gabby, I'm saying it publicly. You see me in this exact scenario, I want you to jump in the water and just scream out loud over and over again. We just broke up. We just broke up. We just broke up. Say it. You know what I mean? Like whatever you need to do to make sure that you could go home to my babies. I'm with it. Like for real. Let me take the ass whooping that I clearly deserve. If 10 people are fighting me, I earned that on God.
Yeah,
like,
something happened.
I earned that. Like, let me eat it. It is what it is. I need to learn those lessons. You know what I mean? That's cool. And you go home, you know what I mean? You think life over, find a better partner maybe. I'm okay with all of these things. But don't jump in. That was all.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't. I mean, honestly, I would have been the one on the pontoon, like, just move the fucking boat, y'all.
Yeah,
why are we doing this? That would have been me anyway. But you know, I'm not cut from pontoon cloth,
spirit,
I
baby.
guess.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's different, yo. The energy wild over there, yo.
So now that fight is going on. Meanwhile, over in front of the boat itself, there are other arguments and little fights going on. At some point, somebody picked up a white folding chair and just started swinging and hit a couple of dudes and hit a woman who was already down on the ground, who she probably got there because she was scrapping with someone and got knocked on her ass. And then he came through and just bonk. And he was just hitting everybody. So and the cops, and let's mention the cops. The cops are there.
Yeah.
They are just kind of standing around like, let's see if they all tire themselves out. Like they're toddlers. Like they weren't, you know what I mean? No one came in with guns ablazing or anything, but they are there. And like once they detained a lot of people. They detained old dude with the chair once he hit the woman with the chair who's already down on the ground. It's like, all right, buddy, now this is egregious. Like you gotta at least let the people be standing before you hit them with the damn chair. You know what I mean?
They ain't even like arrest them. They just took the chair away first. Like,
they're like, come on, buddy. That's enough. You're going too hard with the chair. So they are, as it's starting to wind down, cops do come in and they're separating folks and they're kind of detaining people, blah, blah, blah. Here's a funny factoid from one of the clips from the woman who's standing on the pier and recording it. As they're detaining folks, the pontoon people who started the whole thing are kind of just milling around with the cops, just like with their hands on their hips, like, look at this. Isn't this just terrible? And the woman recording is like, hey, cops, those are the people you need to get. They started everything. They started the whole fight. Don't let them off. Round them up too. They're the ones. Mm-hmm. And finally the cops, the woman's talking to a cop and she's explaining they started up with that captain and they attacked him first, and that's why all of this even started. And now they're just walking around like they didn't do shit. They started the whole thing. It's because of them, and they wouldn't move their boat. And the cop says finally, like, do you have any video of any of this happening? And then the video just stops, which I'm assuming is her just going, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
I have 20 minutes of video here. Now, my phone is very hot, so be careful when you hold it.
I got it all 4K, so it's crazy.
Yeah, right. I'm never going to be able to download this shit. It is stuck on my phone, and I refuse to pay for the iCloud, but it's here. I got it.
Real talk, like, shout outs to Apple. Like, we talk a lot of smack, straight up.
And also, I feel like a little bit of Samsung, looking at some of that footage.
Real talk.
Samsung was in the house, too.
Real talk, man. The product, if this ain't an ad for the durability, the quality of video, you know what I mean? Overheating issues all gone. You know what I mean? Video straight recording time. You got people with an hour of footage.
Yes.
Straight. That's phenomenal. You know what I mean? I got a Canon camera right now that turns off at 29 minutes and 30 seconds because of some tax code. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, dudes with their iPhones shooting 1 hour epic like documentaries on the spot.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And keep in mind, these are people that have been out for the day. Nobody's battery was on 100.
Isn't like no one's been like unplugged their phone.
Yeah. They wasn't expecting, they didn't come out to shoot this movie.
No.
You know what I mean? They was using, especially the people that was on the boat. Like you was
on
out probably flexing that whole time on IG, taking pictures.
Right.
Your phone battery's been used and your shit still went another hour. Yo,
and let's talk about the multiple angles. People were shooting from everywhere.
Thank you so much.
We got footage of Captain Chair hitting somebody, the woman on the ground with the chair from behind the woman. You know, like down and shooting up. Like beautiful footage from everywhere. Footage of the boat when the young man jumps off of the boat to swim over. Like footage from everywhere.
Seriously.
Man.
Yo, real talk. Every time I miss a call, every time the NFL misses a call, I get angry because this is the standard I'm going to hold y'all to, okay? These dudes impromptu covered everything with iPhones. Y'all got $1 million camera systems. You know the size of the field. They didn't know what they was getting into. They was on water. They didn't know where the fight was going. You know what I mean? But everything got covered. It don't matter where you at. If someone talked about it, within 5 minutes, someone else has released footage about that thing. You know what I mean? NFL got no excuse to tell me, oh, the ref can't see if the ball came out. Regardless, I want to see everything now. Okay? Because they captured it on a boat with Samsung and iPhone cameras. Y'all could do better, okay? I don't want to hear this no more. If somebody crossed the 10-yard line and got a first down, I need to know exactly. Okay? That's the bar I'm holding y'all to. Straight up.
We should hire these people to just stand on the field.
Yo, all I saw was resumes, Sha. That's all I saw. This whole time, I saw videographers, I saw directors, I saw managers, I saw fight referees.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I saw a lot of journalism. I saw a lot of journalism.
Real talk. They say journalism's dead. Ha! Never been more alive, Sha. Never been more alive, yo.
That's true. They
peak journalism.
They broke this story. So that's basically the facts. Like some people were detained, but they detained folks. They kind of let folks go, and then they're in the process right now of issuing like arrest warrants for a few people.
Yeah.
It appears, from what I read, like late last night, the warrants that are out there are for almost all pontoon people. Like after viewing all of the footage,
a
lot of a few assault charges for some pontoon people. They are also looking for the man with the chair. They would like him to just kind of come down to the cops and the police department and talk to him. I hope that man, if he's going to do that, he has lawyered up and he won't say a word. Don't stay in the wind, whomever or wherever you are, until you get a good lawyer.
Real talk.
But yeah, like, so that's where it is. Now, let's talk aftermath.
Okay.
Let's talk like, once it came out, once it hit Twitter,
right.
Once it hit IG, once it hit TikTok, once it hit Twitter and YouTube. I think some clips are also on YouTube. And but Twitter in particular, because look here, man, Elon can do whatever, I guess, the fuck he wants to do with it. He can call it X. He can take names away from people that he wants to use. He can stop calling them tweets and start calling them posts, which is very boring. What a boring thing to think that X is the most exciting letter and that we're going to go back to we're just going to call them posts after like decimating the brand, a well-known brand.
Yeah.
Like it's so stupid, but that's its own thing. Here's what he can't do. And here's what other apps that have been trying to replace Twitter or take on some of that. Well, here's what they seem to be unable to do. You can't stop Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Black Twitter, this may have been, I think this may have been Black Twitter's finest moment, which means it's better than the time that I think Yahoo News put out a tweet and there was a misspelling and they meant to put bigger Navy, but they put nigger Navy. Black Twitter was on fire overnight with jokes about that. That was Black Twitter's like highest achievement right there, was reacting to nigger Navy, which was very funny. This blew that up because it covered so many things. This definitely, but if there was any time, I mean, literally, it was the nigger Navy is what we saw there.
That's wild.
But like, what a way! It's, oh my goodness.
This is why I don't think it'll die, because I thought this was like Threads, Spill. This was their best chance to like kind of show, oh, we can like go toe to toe with these people now.
Yeah, and they couldn't.
Yeah, I tried both. I checked. The news was in there. Everything
it was not. I looked on Spill because I'm like, this is the one that's supposed to be kind of catered towards Black folk. Yeah, so let's see what's going on. And they're still doing that weird positivity thing, along with a couple of people have made their way in, and they're just saying very wild, reckless things, but nothing really about. I'm sure they're talking about it now, but at the time that I checked.
Yeah,
like the jokes, when I even found out that this happened, it was many hours later and jokes were starting to come in. So I was trying to play catch up as to what happened while seeing these jokes. And I was like, how's Spill doing? That's like, that shit never even happened. And I'm like, they already making jokes over here on Twitter. Like the speed with which Black Twitter fucking came.
The only thing competing with it to me is TikTok. They're the only thing that I've seen that like has the same speed response. But and I still think that it feeds off of Black Twitter. Like it needs Black Twitter to do it first, and then they'll take part just as much. But
just because it's to me, it's TikTok is not necessarily as intuitive, because it's funneling stuff that it wants you to look at, and TikTok feels so big. I feel like there's a bigger viewership than on Twitter. Like Twitter has, it seemed like the world, but it's actually quite small.
Yeah.
Like the number of people on it. So you still could kind of see, and it had like trending topics. So you could like, oh, I wonder what that's about. And I don't know if that's necessarily there. Like on TikTok, you got to do you have to search in a way that is not necessarily intuitive to me right now. So, you got to put in like riverboat fight, blah, 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 blah. Whereas if you're just on Twitter, it'll just pop up on the side, like, Alabama riverboat. And you're like, what's that about? And now you've just entered this world.
Straight up.
It's easier to navigate in that way because it's simpler. And then it's easier to tell the jokes on Twitter because, you get the words out of you to get the jokes. And then while you're doing that, people can be editing video.
Right.
And, granted, people are very fast at that, but that's still going to take a little bit longer as more video comes out than it would to just write something very quickly. Yeah, so the words are coming faster than the video are. So to that end, the nicknames for what we even call, this whole event, for what we call the young man who jumped in the water and swam, because he really made an effect. Like he touched me in a big way.
Yeah.
Like I'm laughing like, oh, ha ha ha, this is pretty funny. But as I'm watching it, I'm getting very emotional about this young man being so riled up.
Yeah.
I think he was a crew member, being so riled up that he couldn't even wait to see if the boat was going to make it. Once he saw somebody hit, he jumped in the water. Like that's wild.
Yo.
And just like, like you said, community like that. I literally got very weepy watching this young man.
Real talk. I want, that's someone who we got to figure out how to get scholarship money to.
He got money. He doesn't want it. Here's the thing. He's like a 16-year-old man, a young man. And he didn't want to be found out, but people are hard headed. They're going to find him anyway. He literally had to get a publicist to just kind of put the word out like, he's good. Stop sending him money. Stop trying to give him Scott. Like, stop trying to offer to buy him new shoes, any of that. He's good. He's in a good
That's
place. He
what's up.
wants for nothing. He appreciates your love and all that kind of stuff, but he just kind of wants to be left alone.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Number 2 is chairman.
Right.
My man, like if he ends up doing a bid, his commissary got to be fat, like the whole time.
Yes. So let's put aside some money for that if that happens.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of these. Let's talk about some of these names, I think. So the main names for the event, I think we are cycling through. There's hold on. Let me see if I can find. Have you seen any of the?
I mean, the easy ones you got like Bama Brawl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
sure.
Montgomery
Alabama
Massacre.
Brawl. The what?
Montgomery Massacre.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, the Alabama Sweet Tea Party.
I like that.
The one that I really like, which seems, I don't know if it's caught on the most, but I really like it, was Fade in the Water. Like the old Negro spiritual that we know and love so well. Fade in the Water.
That's beautiful.
I think that
touches the soul. I got to tell you.
Yeah, that one really got me.
Yo, I feel a warm like blanket around me with that.
I really like. I'm a big fan of Fade in the Water. If it were up to me,
yeah, that gets me.
But also, let's see.
The young man I thought had the best nickname with Scuba Gooding Jr.
Look, man, Scuba Gooding Jr.
That's fire.
Is the funniest thing. I wrote that down and put it on a little post-it in my wallet as like the funniest thing. It's never going to get any funnier than that.
Yo.
Now, there are other funny ones. There's Aquaman, right? Aquaman is funny. There was Black Aquaman, which felt like a cop making one up. Like, why would you just? There's so many little nuances and details that you can do when you're making up these kind of names. So just put black in front of a thing feels lazy and frankly like you're the feds. Like if you don't know the nuances, get out of the kitchen. Basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'm trying to see where is the other. There are other names. Yeah, but Scuba Gooding Jr. I think is the best of the names.
Yeah, I was a fan of that. I thought it was well done. Artists, whoever came with that, like sincerely.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at a bunch now. C Murda, SEA, C Murda, Aquaman, Michael B. Phelps.
Okay,
Shaquille O'Gills.
Hell yeah.
Catfish Cuz. 21 Tilapia. A lot of fish things. Yeah. Wow, there are a lot of fish names. Grandmaster Splash. Oh wow. Grandmaster Splash.
Oh
Jacquees Cousteau.
Yo, I'm with 21 Tilapia.
Some of these go with, Water Payton. Payton.
Okay.
Finding Negro. Filet-O Fist.
Ooh.
Swimmy Hendrix. Lil Uzi Squirt. LL Pool J. Doc Rivers. DOCK. Doc Rivers.
You know what? Hold on. Like, all right, he won't take no college money. Yo, but can we pay for you to get all these names tattooed on your arm?
Oh, no, that's a terrible idea.
Yo, that would be so hard, yo. Oh, man, I wish I was that dude right now. That would so be my ink. Like, I would just have all of these names tattooed on me, yo. Who are these people to you? All me. It's
now,
all me.
Of course, there's also been name for the event outside of Fade in the Water. There's you take your choice. Lift every voice and swing, or lift every chair and swing.
Ooh.
I like lift every chair and swing.
Yeah.
Lift every voice and swing is very close, but then I'm like, oh no, you want chair there.
Yeah,
Lift
chair does a
lift
lot.
every voice and swing is just an average person making the joke. Lift every chair and swing is like someone who's a comedy writer making the joke.
Yeah, like the voice is the idea. Chair is what the punch up was done in the room. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, so there's that as well. And then there was a swing low sweet chariot. Now that I'm saying that, that actually really makes me laugh. I only read it and I was like, that's funny. But now that I'm saying it, it's actually quite funny. Anyway.
Oh man, this is beautiful.
Yeah, so those are just the words. Meanwhile, on the video end, like someone made a sketch about a dude buying a folding chair off of someone out of the trunk of their car. And they had two different kinds of folding chairs, and he picked the one with the nicer action, but he didn't have no money. He was going to try and trade a gun for it. And they were like, hey man, you can't bring no gun to a chair fight. Like it's
I
lovely.
enjoyed the someone who was like pointing the head of the chair to the wall, and it had like the red beam to like aim. That was beautiful. Like for real, man. Like y'all are artists out there, yo.
The guy who's standing like the famous Malcolm X photograph of Malcolm looking out the window with a shotgun, but instead he has a chair. Come on now.
Yo.
Let me tell you, it's hard to talk about comedy in this way. It's like, you know, dancing about, what is that? Architecture. I think that's the phrase, but where it makes no sense. Like, why are you doing it? But it's very funny.
Yeah.
The things are very funny out there. Reenactments.
Yo.
There was a group of people who did a reenactment at like a neighborhood pool or some shit. And like,
I didn't even talk about my favorite thing I saw actually related to this.
What's that?
The emoji description of the whole fight.
Oh,
somebody like retold the whole fight in emojis. It is freaking brilliant. And it's so succinct and perfect. The emojis they use, I was like, oh, this is so, it tells every part of the fight. I was like, this is so well done.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I gotta find that and send that to my sister because that's how she uses emojis.
Straight up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't have the patience to know which emoji is the perfect one for the moment, but my sister will say one thing and then elaborate in emojis, and I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. What she's saying, I understand. How did she do that?
You know, and the thing that I don't want getting lost in this also is the spirit that I felt throughout like my community. States away. You know what I mean? Like there was like, just like those guys were skipping in a fight, there was a little bit of a skip in everybody in Brooklyn that I saw.
Oh.
Yo, the joy I saw in my community, just people just like floating through their day.
Yeah,
hoping to talk about it. It was beautiful.
I definitely was like, this is so funny. This is, which is such, I mean, like ultimately, yes, maybe people got hurt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm laughing at the jokes and yada, but I'm also just reveling in the instant fuck around and find outness of it.
Yeah.
The instant karma. And also there's a feeling of, it's kind of like lately I've been trying to write a joke about how it feels like everything is kind of falling apart. Like things are getting ready to burn. Like we're getting ready to like run up on the government. Like everything just feels very unstable. And the joke is, it comes from the mindset of just like, oh, I don't want to do that. But this made me want to do that. This to me is like the plus side of like, oh, well, I guess if we're going to run up on the things that have been oppressing us in some way, I guess we got to run up on some pontoons. Also, you know what I mean? Like you can't just, yeah, guess what? I'm here. And, but the thing is, this isn't new. There's always a sense of, for any young people who have that mindset of like, I am not my ancestors, you can catch these hands. Don't think your ancestors weren't throwing hands. We've been throwing hands the whole time. We've been poisoning food. We've been killing like slave masters. Like, don't think we haven't been doing it. That's just not getting into the history books.
Right.
But it's been happening. This spirit is not new for the 2-3. This has been happening across the board. But man,
yo,
it's it's rare that you see that kind of moment. Also, there are a couple of things of note that I want to mention about Montgomery in particular. Two things that I read. One was where that happened.
Okay.
Is that location was a huge slave trade like port.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Okay.
A lot of bodies came through there. A lot of slaves. Like that whole area of downtown Montgomery, has like markings of where like slaves were bought and sold,
wow.
and that's where they landed, was in that. So that's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
That's super heavy to think that these, 7, 8 white people are just like, well, I'm not going to move my pontoon. Which isn't even, I mean, the name of the boat is a pontoon. So you already know it's literally just like a waiting. It's just like a kiddie pool on a bubble. Like, what are we doing? So that's heavy to think about. Another thing is that the population of Montgomery, which I need to look up, but I believe it's majority Black. They just got their first Black mayor.
Congratulations, Montgomery.
And the mayor is who appoints the police chief. The police chief is Black. So the police were out there kind of calm. No one pulled a baton. No one pulled a gun thinking it was their taser. No one pulled a taser. They just kind of let that shit not play out, but kind of like play out and just like mitigate what needed to be. It's the way that it was handled.
Yeah. Like,
seems so different from the way that we've seen other policemen act.
And I do want to say one thing to like a couple things here, like with to the pontoons people credit, and to everyone there's credit. This stayed a fight. I think that's cool. Like, that's real talk. Like, you got an issue you want to square up. Respect to everybody there that said, like, yeah, we're gonna knuckle up about this. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna keep it kind of like civil. You know what I mean? No guns are needed, no knives are needed, no lethal weapons are needed. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's okay every now and then.
Right.
And I'm good with that. And like, I thought it was kind of chill that's kind of like everyone agreed. It doesn't need to be more than this. Second, to your point, I like that the cops didn't escalate it, and that when they got there, they assessed.
Yes.
That blew my mind. Like, I thought that was so dope. They're like, yo, let's see who might be the good guys. Like, let's see what's going on here. Like, let's not just start like, yo, maybe, because low key, maybe the good guys are winning. Like, maybe the people who are in the right are winning. And they kind of saw that, like, yo, let them rock for a little bit. You know what I mean? You heard that. Yeah.
They look tired.
Yeah,
I know we just got here, but yeah, this can't go on forever. They look tired. These are older people. They've been out in the sun all day. Everybody has.
You know what I mean? They've been drinking. You don't got the right carbs for that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. But they showed up. They was like, yo, show me some video. They did that shit. Yeah, let them get some swings in first. It's cool. Let them wear themselves out. We'll jump in when it's necessary. Yo, chair dude, come on, my man. I'm letting you rock.
Chair dude.
Come on, man. Yo, stop him. But the rest of them, like, I thought that was dope. Like, sincerely, I think that was ill. Like, on some, like, that's what protect and serve means to me. Like, you're there for the community. You know what I mean? If the community is policing
no one came in with guns a-blazing. I think it's fantastic if you can say something is fantastic about a huge fight.
Yo.
A huge racially charged fight.
Right. So, there was definitely like undertones to that like got very overtones.
Yes.
By the end of it.
It definitely, I mean, it was, it was a lot. It like, if you really think about that part, but I guess maybe the thing about being Black in America is I don't have to think too deeply about it because it's all around me, and it's around me all the time, and I can already just kind of clock it and go, that's what that is. And so I don't have to, there's no turmoil. It's just like, no, that's what that is.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
know.
Yeah, I see what that is, and I have tools to deal with that. Like, it's not going to floor me every time.
Real talk.
So, but to that end, when we're talking about how good it was that the cops kind of let it rock. It's wild to think that uh, more to the community aspect of it. It's wild to think that if no one went over there to help that man, he just would have been beat to smithereens by 4 to 5 white dudes.
Right.
When you consider what recently happened here in New York to the young man on the train who was just kind of yelling, and then that guy choked him out with other people on the train helping to hold him down because they thought he was a threat, and ended up murdering that man on the train.
Yeah. World
You
of
know what I
difference.
mean? Like,
Really,
yeah,
like
that no. So I feel like that's notable. And that's part of the reason why I get weepy when I think about that young man jumping off that boat and swimming over, you
yeah.
know? And one it can be, I think the way to wrap up that feeling is the woman who's recording it, or someone who's near the person who's recording from the boat, the vantage point of seeing him jump into the water and make his way across. A woman is giving commentary the whole time, of course. And she's like, yeah, oh, he done jumped in the water. Oh man, watch out now. And then he says, that boy finna help that boy. Meaning the young man is finna help the guy who's getting beat up right now. That boy finna help that boy. And that is just like, yo, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Dudes came from all over to help. People rushed off the boat. That boy gonna help that boy is literally like community, black community. That boy finna help that boy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
If you would like.
We talked about this for an hour straight.
I swear to God,
everybody who was like, I can't wait to hear your take on it. Guess what? An hour straight.
Easy too.
Easy. I'm like, okay, what are the news stories?
Yo, on God, I haven't looked at any of my notes. I wrote notes. I was like, yo, if we get to this Alabama shit, I got like a page. I haven't looked down at any of that shit. I haven't looked at the articles. Oh man. Fun fact, by the way, you mentioned the history of Alabama. I looked up the population numbers. 200,000 people in the city, pardon me. But what I found interesting was the population trend. 2020 population was 47% white, 49% black. 2010, 36% white, 56% black. 2020, 28% white, 60% black. So there's definitely like a shift happening in that community. And I guess the pontoon people felt it.
Yeah, shit shifting. I mean, shit is shifting. But you know, that could be, oh man, that could be due to, I wonder how affordable, and affordable is loaded down with a lot of meaning. I wonder how affordable Montgomery is right now to fellow pontoon people. And that might be why it is shifting in that way. Because that's a shift that I see in a lot of cities right now, where the percentage of the black population percentage is relatively high.
Yeah.
And now that is all starting to shift because pontoon people are moving into. I really like this pontoon people thing I'm on. I hope I shake it by the end of the day, but I may not.
Real talk, I don't know if I think I'm gonna say it more than ever. Now, you pontoon motherfuckers.
I mean, I truly feel for my roommate, who is a young white man from Mobile, Alabama, who does enjoy a boat. Even he was like, "This is some bullshit."
Listen,
especially like this is some bullshit. But
yeah, I got
man,
some brand work to do. Okay, that's all it is. Listen, if you would like to continue to support or what is it? Let me see here. I'm trying to think of something. White people not being pontoon people association.
No. If you want us to go out on a pontoon to see how it feels,
Ooh.
right? I'm not going on a pontoon. Who am I talking about? I don't care how many stars you give us. I'm not going out on a pontoon. I can't swim. Huh.
I love also low key, you know what I thought about is like after you get your ass kicked like that and then you go to jail and you come back, like who goes to pick up the pontoon?
Right?
Like one of y'all got to go back to that dock.
Right.
And get the pontoon and like walk
I
past
feel like you
everybody
send
else.
a friend. I feel like you should send a friend.
Yeah.
Also, apparently one of the pontoon people owns a mini mart in Selma, Alabama. What is this like to be like these are cities with like serious fucking like reputations.
Yeah.
Like serious shit.
They got history.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of important civil rights history went down in these cities. And I'm like, what is that like to just be like a white person in Selma who owns a mini mart? I'm like, aren't you constantly thinking, no, you're not. You don't have to. That's the thing that I have to, you know what I mean? Like at no point do you think, all the shit that happened and you're still like, nah, let's beat up this dude for telling us what to do.
Yo, you just gave me my biggest question about this whole situation.
What's that?
Does this make a history book?
That's real. Okay, okay. We ain't done yet, y'all.
Real talk. This is history.
This is a huge,
like
thing. After the shit that's gone down lately, the rolling back of affirmative action, right? Just the way that in 2020, the country had to sit with itself, was forced to sit with itself because we didn't want to all die at once, which meant we had to really sit with ourselves and think about race in a way.
Yeah.
And how after I can clock it 2 years after that, by 2022, white folks were like, I'm tired of doing this. This is too much work. Actually, they were done by 2021, but it wasn't a huge until 2022. And now it feels like it's just racing towards like just in a real backwards way, right? Like all of this shit has been building up. So to think that you and 7 of your white friends can beat up one black guy in front of a bunch of black people on the port where slaves were traded in the South and just think you can go back to your mini mart in another important Southern city? Get the fuck out of here. This has to be, right? This has to go in the history books.
Yeah.
But who's writing those history books now? Like they're rewriting history. All the CRT shit, like in Florida, don't, tell them about Rosa Parks, but don't tell her why she got in trouble or why she sat down or all this. Like, what are we doing?
Yo.
How do we talk about this? Because this is kind of big, depending on what comes from it. But it's also like big in the moment. I feel like it was kind of a boost when you're talking about black folks were walking taller or like with a little more pep in their step. This is a little bit of a boost at a time that really feels like we're just being battered in different ways and we're fighting back. And it just, you know what I mean? Like, how does this, that's why I'm glad there's so much fucking video.
Real talk. Like, I really like, on God, I want my grandkids to like come home one day and tell me about how they learned about Phillips throwing a hat in the air.
Right.
Like, yo, real talk, y'all, I'm writing a book report and I'll be like, yo, little man, you ain't seen the video. Check this out. It's grainy, but it's fire.
Exactly. I definitely look forward to telling young people about where I was on Twitter when I found out about it.
Now we got it. If you would like, you know what I mean, to send video footage so that I could put it in a container to open in 2040 with my grandkids.
We're gonna do it like a time capsule.
Straight up, time capsule style, baby. Me and Gastor the Third. Okay, that's what I'm making Aiden name his son, Gastor the third.
There's not even a second Gastor.
I'm junior. I'm junior, sir.
Oh, I
I'm out here.
forgot
Hell
you're
yeah.
junior.
Know what I mean? I'm gonna open it with little Gastor the third and Aiden Jr. You know what I
Oh,
mean? I'll let him
wow.
decide the order.
Oh,
You know, because I'm
boy.
a good dad like that. I'm gonna let my son
That's
decide,
very sweet of
what he
you.
names his
Also, I
kids.
hope Gastor the third is a girl.
That'd be fire. I'm with that.
I
Gastora,
hope that's
Gastor.
the case.
Low key. My fun fact, my dad called Michaela Gastora for a year and a half. Like hard. Gabby was so tight.
That's so funny.
He was like, yo, Gastora. And I'm like, yo, dad, like, she don't start thinking that's for real. If you would like to help with this time capsule, all you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple Star listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars, you got rocked on the pontoon, baby. Okay?
You don't want anybody to know.
You don't want anybody to know. Keep that to yourself. 5 stars, you out here, baby. You about this time capsule. You pro swingers. You might have even invested in some foldable chairs. You know? Good stock option right now. You know?
Yeah, I think so.
Real talk. If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Except during weeks where people brawl in Alabama. Admittedly, I'm gonna forget to cover every one of your articles.
Yeah, if it's not something extremely historical and important like this fight. Yeah, we may not get to it till a bonus.
My bad, y'all. But thank you, Tanner Haley, Bishop, Lori McDaniel, and FCVLJ. Know that your articles were the ones that I picked, but history happened. You know what I mean? Like, I can't.
We may get to them.
I'm gonna try.
Just know that the intent was for this week.
In my heart, I was like, these are funny articles. And then an ass whooping took place of historic proportions that, like, I just had to cover that. I'm sorry. With all that said, I am admittedly very proud that throwing softballs can now translate to throwing chairs. Gastor Almonte. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? These skills, they stay with you forever. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
With my favorite historian, you know, keeping the story
taking
alive.
Notes.
Taking notes, baby. Shalewa
Rolling
Sharpe.
and taking notes.
This has been a very specific episode of the War Report. You know what I mean? Catch y'all next time. Peace.